Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How we doing?
Good.
Good, good. All right, so a much anticipated answer to the question. I debated getting you to the end of the speech and saying, okay, we're going to do it in a third speech, but I figured I'd get stoned. You guys would treat me very poorly if I did that too. So we're going to get into it today. We're going to refresh what we talked about at the beginning. Some of you, I can't remember if everyone was here. Most of you were here. The conversation revolved around the foundation of retirement planning. Where are you going to get your income from once you decide to hang it up and stop working? It is a huge question that burdens everyone, especially after the meltdown 2 years ago, where we now see people who are on the verge of hanging it up and hanging out at the beach all the time. They are now working. Maybe they've taken some part-time jobs, but people's plans were severely derailed in the meltdown that recently occurred. So what we want to talk about, I want to refresh what was on the board, and I rewrote everything up here. If you remember, we all started by giving a list of the items. I'm sorry, I need my pen. The different types of retirement income sources. So everybody chimed in, and this is what we came up with. If you remember, Social Security, 401ks, and IRAs, which include Roths, CDs, savings, investments, pensions, real estate. Someone chimed in with lottery. I love the optimism there, but realistically. Somebody else chimed in humorously that they're going to live off their children. Good idea. Hopefully your children are wealthy. And then inheritance was another one. Is there anything that somebody thinks we've left off of here? There is one, and we're going to get to it, as I promised. But the thing we talked about that was the most important part is, what are the things that erode our wealth? We spend all our lives putting all this effort into creating something, but we don't think about the erosion that's happening while we're working toward that end. And the list of eroding factors comes down to taxes, market risk, which is the one that really killed everybody recently, inflation, which is potentially looming on the horizon, accidents, disability, if you find yourself in a period of time where you can't fund your retirement, creditor claims and lawsuits. These are the things that you're at risk from. So by that logic, what's the next step? We have to figure out what comprises the characteristics of the perfect option for putting our money away so that we have it when we need it. We need something that gives us a fairly high return, comes with fairly low risk. You don't want contribution limits. We have contribution limits in a few of these. What if you make more money and you want to put it away, but you can't? It needs to be tax advantaged. I didn't say tax free. I didn't say tax deferred. I didn't say tax. I didn't say tax free. So tax advantage, there's a difference. There are a couple of different types of tax advantage. Chris can probably help you understand that more than I can. You want to have the use and control of your money. When you put your money in some of these areas, you can't touch it without paying a penalty. It's your money, but now you can't take it back without a penalty. Not exactly what we're looking for. The contributions need to be easy. A lot of people find a 401k is easy because they never see the money, right? It goes directly into your 401k. But then we have to think about vesting. What if you're only with the company 3 years and it's a 5-year or 10-year vesting schedule? Does everybody know what that means? Meaning, if you're not there for the full 10 years or 5 years, whatever that vesting is, then you don't really get to keep all of the matched money that the company matches. And a lot of companies are now doing away with matches altogether on 401ks. That's a real problem. So you want protection from creditors and lawsuits. If you were to have that auto accident where you put a doctor out of work for 2 years, is your auto insurance really going to cover that whole bill? Likely not. You might pay for the car. You might even come up with some of the money for his 2-year disability where he's not working. But you can rest assured that you're going to be contacted by his lawyer for the rest of that 2 years worth of not working. And the last characteristic is the plan should be self-completing. I talked about if you become disabled, where's the money going to come from to put into that retirement plan? Okay. So if we look at these, the Social Security, is it protected from taxes? Anybody? No. Not really, no. So it doesn't work. 401ks, sometimes you get high returns, but you also have low risk. Sometimes you get low returns. You have contribution limits. Here's one burning question about 401ks, the real burning question. Tax deferral. You get to put money in without paying taxes on that money today with 401ks and IRAs. So when do you pay the tax?
Withdraw.
When you withdraw. Think about the environment of the economy we're in today. Do you think taxes are going to be lower or higher in the future? So is the government really doing you a favor, or are they doing themselves a favor? I have a friend of mine calls an IRA an internal revenue account. Because the government's going to make more money off of those than we are. All right? So we have to take those out.
Sorry, we have a disagreement over here.
Okay, we can talk about that later. CDs. CDs, you have penalties. You lose use and control of your money. That doesn't work. Savings, not very high return on savings, so we take that out. Investing, everybody's favorite. Investing. I'm going to hit that one last. Pensions are going the way of the dodo bird. I think people are starting to realize not a lot of companies are offering or even honoring the pensions that they offered in the beginning. Real estate is subject to market risk, as we've all seen recently. And I'm going really fast now because I'm trying to beat my time. Lottery. No, sorry. And if you're living off your kids, God love you, but you might need a lot more help than that. You can get an inheritance, but not everyone in the room is going to get an inheritance. So we really can't count that. So what is the answer? All right. How does insurance, I know, not very exciting. No marching band, no dancing girls. But how does insurance stack up against investments when you look at all of these factors? Okay? It's really important to think about what does life insurance do? And I'm talking about permanent life insurance. Okay? It's not about death. It's not called death insurance. It's called life insurance. And the reason it's called life insurance is because it has living benefits. What are the living benefits of life insurance? Have you ever heard of cash value insurance? Some people call it that. Builds cash value. So now you have something that can give you a high return. And as the years progress, the return becomes higher and higher in the later years. So it takes patience. It takes full commitment. The risk is almost nil. There's very little risk. You don't have any contribution limits. Tax advantaged. You can take your cash value beyond retirement without paying taxes on it. Without paying any taxes on it. And there's a way to do that. You have use and control of your money throughout. I tell business owners all the time, if you've got cash value life insurance, instead of going to that bank for that capital improvement on your business that may cost you $10,000 at 7%, go to your life insurance policy and borrow it from there. And pay yourself back that 7%. Now you've made yourself 7% on your own money. That's very doable. People do that all the time. Ease of contribution, you can set it up very easy. Life insurance cash values are protected from predators. Another thing people don't know about it is you don't report your cash values on the FAFSA forms for college aid, financial aid. That's a very valuable point for those of us that have kids. And self-completing. If you become disabled, there's a way, it's called waiver of premium for disability and life insurance. Your premiums get paid by the life insurance company if you're disabled. And of course, if you die, the death benefit makes your plan self-completing because that's a lump sum. So in a very short, brief, 8 minutes probably now, that is where, that was the answer to the question, life insurance. And like I said, I know I didn't come with marching band and dancing girls. It's not the sexy sizzle that you hear with investing, because investing, everybody's got the next best investment, and you feel great when you really turn a buck on that. But look what has happened to people's investments in recent times. So I encourage everyone to take a very solid look in their financial plans at what adding cash value life insurance as the foundation I'm not saying that the rest of the stuff shouldn't be used, but as a foundation to your financial plan, cash value life insurance is really the answer.